Diddy's sons are getting ready to drop their own documentary about him, and on top of that, Diddy himself is supposedly planning to speak publicly for the very first time. This move comes as a direct response to 50 Cent's documentary that's currently blowing up on Netflix. 50 is already preparing a second installment, and now it looks like both sides are gearing up for a full-blown docu-series showdown.
Zeus Network has a new Diddy documentary coming out, and this time it is coming from the perspective of Diddy and his sons. All the time I thought we were about to leave Diddy in 2025. Well, this documentary is coming in 2026. And a lot of people, just like myself, are already not feeling this new documentary coming from Diddy's sons. And a lot of people aren't happy about it and actually shocked that the owner of Zeus Network, Lemmy, is doing this Diddy documentary. But what a lot of people fail to forget is Lemmy and Diddy have been friends for quite some time.
Of his children arriving in court for day one of their father's sex trafficking trial in New York. Hands gripped in solidarity.
Do you still believe your dad's innocent? How did you feel hearing that testimony? You apologize on behalf of your father. Do you believe your father's innocent? Do you still support your father's innocent? Your daddy got 4 years! Your daddy got 4 years for abusing women! That's wrong! You can have more!
Gonna fight this again.
The foes, the joy, the pain, our voice, the loyalty, the betrayal, the pride, the love, the hate, the truth.
Justin and Christian Combs are both set to appear in this project, marking the first time either of them has spoken publicly since their father's legal troubles began. But it's important to remember that Justin and Christian are also dealing with their own sexual assault cases. So if Diddy joins this documentary, that would mean 3 alleged predators all trying to escape responsibility through what looks like a carefully crafted media campaign.
In this, it shows clearly we are also going to hear from Diddy himself on a phone call while he's in prison at Fort Dix. Already, seeing the way people are reacting, I do not think this is hitting for them the way they want it to. And I think this is also because everybody knows that Diddy is actually appealing his sentence that he was found guilty of right now. I think that if Diddy just took accountability for the things that we have all seen him do wrong, he would do a lot better than trying to push a certain narrative. Because to me, and a lot
really surprised people is who seems most excited about this. 50 Cent actually reposted the trailer for the docu-series on his Instagram and shared his reaction. It's obvious he's doing this to mess with Justin and Christian, especially since the tension between them has been building for a while. I'll get into that soon, but first let's talk about what 50 shared.
Tap in as expected. 50 Cent caught wind of it hitting the news, hitting the blogs, and being on the timeline yesterday that Diddy's sons, Sean and Justin, will be dropping a docu-series of their own to tell their side of the story, their experiences, and how they view things on the Zeus Network. Well, 50 Cent put it up on his Instagram page, and he promoting the trailer where you look at it from the other side of it on the marketing side, but he knows it plays back into the doc that he just dropped as well with the record, and he put it up and said, wow, I want to see this show. I'm not sure this was a good idea. And he tagged at 50 Cent Action, letting it be known that this is really promo in itself.
The moment the trailer went live, the internet exploded with criticism. Someone commented under 50's post saying, "Sheesh, I see the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree." Another user on Twitter added, "We already know he loves to control a narrative with media manipulation and propaganda." The reaction became so intense that Zeus Network CEO Lemuel Playmumber, who is a longtime friend of Diddy, stepped in to address the situation himself.
Take to his Instagram right after this trailer for this docu-series dropped, and he was getting tons of backlash from people saying they do not want this crap, they only want to see baddies. He said, to be clear, this documentary series is centered on providing Justin and Christian the opportunity to share their personal story and lived experiences, particularly as their lives have also been directly impacted. This project is not intended to endorse, defend, or vindicate Diddy or any individual, nor does it seek to justify or minimize any action that had been alleged or adjudicated. Do you find this part odd because of all the wording that that was just shown in the trailer. The lies, the truth, the foes. Anyways, as a network, we believe it's important for allowing individuals to speak for themselves just as any credible network entering the documentary space does. Our role is to provide a platform for the stories to be told honestly and without prejudgment. What viewers will see is raw, real, and authentic storytelling. That is the essence of this project. We respectfully ask that the series not be prejudged before it's seen. Everyone will have the opportunity to watch, assess the content, and arrive at their own conclusion.
Let's be real. This whole thing looks like a publicity strategy. Diddy has a long history of trying to reshape the story when things go bad. Right now, he's trying to redirect attention away from 50 Cent's documentary and the crimes being discussed. Even while the trial was happening, Diddy and his sons were working behind the scenes to clean up his public image.
Prosecutors allege Combs frequently instructs family members and his attorneys to add other individuals via three-way call, which is not allowed. On some of those calls, prosecutors say Combs is explicit about his intention to use public statements to sway potential jurors, including this Instagram post by Diddy's kids.
Happy birthday to Daddy.
Prosecutors say Combs enlisted family members to plan and execute a social media campaign around the defendant's birthday, the first time we heard his voice from behind bars.
Oh, thank y'all for being strong and thank y'all for being by my side and supporting me. I love y'all. I got the best family in the world.
Prosecutors say Combs then monitored audience engagement from the video.
If the judge, in fact, feels as though Diddy is trying to circumvent the rules of the prison and he's doing things outside of what he's allowed to do, that's going to carry a lot of weight when we talk about being released on bail, because what they're trusting is that you will abide by the rules that allow you to be
being paid to rally support for Diddy outside of his trial, because that is what many are now alleging, as people have been standing across the street from the courthouse in free Puff and free Diddy shirts. With, for example, journalist and content creator Emily Hagan posting a TikTok of this group of people in matching shirts that also then included this interaction.
These are all paid protesters. You can get $20 an hour if you wear a t-shirt.
You gotta speak up.
She just got recruited, right?
I refuse.
You said no. It wasn't worth the 20?
No, but like he told me that it's for a Diddy coin, so I'm not really sure what that is. The lady right there, she just kept convincing me to go wear a shirt, and I'm like, I'm
And while that TikTok was initially posted around 5 days ago, it's now gotten a lot more traction as people like 50 Cent, who famously not a big Diddy fan, started posting about it and trolling Diddy by posting seemingly edited images of him in the shirts and writing things like, okay, now where do I send my $20 invoice, guys? A deal's a deal.
Timing makes everything even more suspicious because Diddy has just filed an appeal. Court documents show that he's asking a federal judge to throw out his Mann Act convictions and his 50-month sentence, or at least reduce it and let him out earlier.
Coverage: Sean Diddy Combs seeking an immediate release from prison. This week, his attorneys urging a federal appeals court in New York to reverse his conviction on prostitution-related charges or direct the judge to lighten his 4-year sentence. The National News Desk, Jeff Harris, joining us. Diddy's lawyers, Jeff, officially filing that appeal this week. Tell us more about their argument and also the chances it succeeds. What are you hearing?
So Diddy is currently serving that 50-month prison sentence after being found guilty on those prostitution-related charges over the summer. In their appeal filing, his lawyers now arguing the music mogul was treated harshly during sentencing by a federal judge who let evidence surrounding charges that he was actually found not guilty of actually then influence his punishment. This week, lawyers for music mogul Sean Diddy Combs urging a federal appeals court in New York to either order his immediate release and reverse his conviction or lighten his over 4-year prison sentence.
This appeal was expected, especially when the defense filed a motion for a new trial and a notice of appeal. And the arguments are attacking the conviction itself.
One of the most disturbing parts is that both Justin and Christian are tied to their father's alleged crimes. Watching two accused predators team up to defend a third convicted one is shocking. Many people believe the sons are doing this because they're directly connected to what Diddy is accused of.
He is a diabolical nigga, man. You know what 50 basically just did? He just teased the sequel. He's like, yo, at first it was the Pops. Now the second season, you know, the second season is usually more lit than the first. Second season is watching how they were tag teaming. Justin, Christian, and Diddy.
Christian King Combs also reacted to 50's docuseries by posting on Twitter, "On my dad, if I ever see 50 Cent, I'll slap the out of him." He quickly deleted it, but 50's reply stayed up. "Lil bro, first close your damn mouth when you take pictures. I've been rich 3 different times. Sold records, sold shows, sold liquor, sold power. You still living off Wi-Fi and legacy Relics." According to Lil Rod's lawsuit, Justin Combs was a frequent guest at Diddy's freak-off parties and was responsible for finding underage girls for his father. Photos have also surfaced showing Justin at these events, and it's alleged that many of the minors were brought in through him.
Before Diddy and sometimes others sexually assaulted them. There are also allegations that Diddy forced these victims to have sex with prostitutes as he touched himself. He called these situations freak-offs, and oftentimes he recorded them. Here's where some of the allegations against his son Justin Combs come in. So all this takes us back to February, when Rodney Jones, also known as the producer Lil Rod, filed civil suit against Diddy. In his lengthy lawsuit, Lil Rod straight name drops Justin Combs, describing him as someone who solicits prostitutes, underage girls, and sex workers. There's actually a picture of Justin Combs with an allegedly underage girl shown in the lawsuit. Now, in this specific instance, Lil Rod alleges at least one underage girl came to Diddy's home for a listening party. A sex worker was also apparently solicited, and a freak-off ensued. As an aside, this is the same night that Lil Rod alleges Diddy forced him to take a laced shot. He started to feel lightheaded and then woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, naked next to a sex worker. It's important to note Justin Combs is listed as a defendant on this case because, according to Lil Rod, he facilitated Diddy's alleged RICO enterprise and at times participated.
And Christian's situation isn't any better. His name has also been pulled into serious legal trouble. A lawsuit filed by 26-year-old flight attendant Grace Omar claims Christian drugged her with spiked drinks, groped her, and sexually harassed her during one of Diddy's yacht parties.
And she was 25 years old at the time. She believed that the trip would be a, quote, wholesome family excursion, but says it, quote, turned into a hedonistic environment, even describing rampant drug use among sex workers and celebrities who came on board. She believes that the alcohol on the yacht had been laced with drugs because she says women would have one drink and then almost immediately pass out or start falling over. This is, by the way, something that it was also alleged in Jones's lawsuit that Combs would spike the drinks of different people. But focusing on Christian Combs, Omarky says that Christian Combs had been staying at a villa on the shore, but that he would come onto the yacht in the evening to party. And on December 28th, 2022, Christian reportedly arrived very intoxicated and then proceeded to pressure Omarky to take shots of tequila. She did. Christian allegedly tried to get her to drink more in the yacht's makeshift studio. Omarky alleges that Christian kissed her neck, kissed her face, as he groped her legs, breasts, and private areas.
There was also an incident where Christian allegedly helped his father hide the truth about a shooting. That situation was even mentioned in the docuseries 50 released.
In an alleged shooting cover-up. According to court documents, it happened on September 12th, 2022, outside Diddy's Chalice Studios. Lil Rod says Diddy, his son Justin, and Justin's friend who went by G were all there when things got heated. Lil Rod says he heard multiple gunshots ring out and later found G on the bathroom floor in the fetal position. Lil Rod says he was bleeding out of his hip and leg area. Lil Rod says he was applying pressure to G's wounds and then asked the crowd to call an ambulance. At that point, both Diddy and Justin Combs disappeared to another part of the studio. Diddy then gave strict instructions to inform the police that he had nothing to do with the shooting. He also forced Mr. Jones to lie to the police by telling them that G was shot standing outside the studio by a drive-by assailant. So that specific allegation involves Diddy's son Justin, but another allegation and entirely separate civil lawsuit involves his other son Christian, or King Combs. Grace Omar K alleges that Christian Combs sexually assaulted her on a yacht in December 2022, and she says it was facilitated by Diddy.
Justin and Christian are clearly worried. They know 50 is dropping a second part, and it could expose even more about them. That's why they're trying to get ahead of the story and change how things look. By releasing their own documentary first, they're attempting to control the narrative and portray themselves as victims instead of possible abusers.
Me and 50 Cent got 140 more hours of Diddy just recording himself doing all this crazy stuff on camera. 140 extra hours. Do you know how many terabytes that footage possibly is? How many hard drives? How many bottles of baby? All right, you telling me we got the whole 4-part series documentary, and that was just what, a nickel of what he has just sitting? Like 50 is going to use this to just crush this man. I don't even know what to say about this. I'm still stuck on Buddy, the producer, that kept waking up every single day, still there with his butt on soul. Like, bro woke up every single day like, ouch, brother.
Shit is about to hit the fan. After what 50 just came across in that secret little Diddy footage that he paid from the videographer that Diddy didn't pay, they are saying 50 has footage that will not only add more time to Diddy's sentence, but Diddy might not ever come out. Listen up, check this out. Now, y'all know that footage that where Diddy is behind the scenes talking to his lawyer and all of this stuff, and people are like, damn, what was Diddy recording it? Well, Diddy was recording it because he thought he was about to beat the case. So he wanted to do a Netflix documentary. Didn't pay the guy, and then 50 got all 140 hours of footage of secret Diddy tactics. Well, there's a guy named Neil who was mentioned in the court, works right up under Diddy, was organizing everything. Allegedly, they are saying that he is on video, film, tampering with witnesses, giving out addresses, offering money, bribing, we'll pay for your lawyers, all kind of shit that could be counted as witness tampering, obstruction of justice. And 50, of all people, has his hands on this footage. And I'm hearing that this could implicate Diddy's lawyers in some bullshit. They could be charged. This shit is getting wild. And I'm hearing that this 50 Cent documentary is just a fucking tip of the iceberg, and I like it. What if I told?
Some people in the industry believe this isn't even their idea. They think Diddy is pushing his sons to do it. If he goes down, so do they. Their careers would be finished. And it was Diddy's money that supported them all along. That's the uncomfortable truth most people won't say.
They didn't choose it. They were born into this. I don't think anybody's paying attention to that. The choice to that guy. If that man calls and say, I need you to do this, I need you to do that, what else are they going to do? They gotta bet on him. I'm sure they're all praying he makes it, because if not, what are they going to do? And they definitely can't count on Grandma Janice. They're screwed. One way or the other, they're screwed.
So there's no escape for them.
How? Was there escape for OJ's children? Their daddy is the new OJ. And we already know he done it. Like OJ's kids went through hell. And there was reasonable doubt. We didn't see a video of him doing anything. We didn't see him running around in a towel with a knife, We seen that with the Dibba. It's worse than OJ.
The darkest rumor involves Diddy's relationship with his children. A former Freddie P. artist who once worked with Diddy claims he witnessed inappropriate behavior between Diddy and his stepson Quincy Combs. He says Diddy was grooming Quincy and that it started when Quincy was very young.
No, like, why were you so infatuated with a child that wasn't yours? Were you grooming that little boy? I don't even want to start those conversations because that's not your child. You know what I'm saying? And for you to keep him that close, it's like you kept him that close because he might got your secrets because he's not your child. So if he's not your child and you that type of person with that type of character, you don't mind actually doing it to him when he finally reaches a certain age because he's not yours. And you know in your mind he's not yours. And now you keep him real close to you. You make sure he don't go to his daddy. Why? We make sure he's separated with him. And you provide him with everything he wants. Why? You got one of them little Michael Jackson secrets. He got one of them secrets that he can't tell nobody because his legacy, his manhood gonna be, and not only that, his brother no gonna look at him crazy. Only Puffy know. Only God and
talking about
Puffy.
Quincy, right?
I don't know. All I'm gonna say is, I don't know.
I'll be sure, son.
All I'm gonna say is, who's infatuated with another man's son that like that? Like, you guess that seemed like grooming to me.
This so-called documentary is really just another attempt by Diddy to buy himself time and shape public opinion. It's not about honesty, it's about controlling the damage. Every clip, every quote, and every interview will be carefully chosen to distract people. This isn't their first move against 50's docuseries either. Diddy's lawyers have already sent a cease and desist and are now threatening to sue both 50 Cent and Netflix for over $1 billion.
Diddy's legal team sent Netflix a cease and desist letter, but now the big rumor is that they're preparing a defamation lawsuit, potentially for $1 billion over the Sean Combs The Reckoning documentary. They're claiming it uses stolen and unauthorized footage to create a shameful hit piece and damages reputation.
What is there precedent? Because when it's a documentary, footage doesn't necessarily have to be approved if it's considered a news piece.
And since you didn't watch it, Ebro, there's one piece.
I watched some of it.
Where, there's very intimate footage of Diddy with his lawyers. But in the documentary, it also talks about how he hired a young person to film him for X amount of hours, a lot, and didn't pay him. So if 50 comes along and is like, I will pay you for this footage.
Well, unless
that's the biggest congrats, by the way.
Well, depending on what the documentation is between that, that person and Diddy.
Yeah.
Right. If that documentation says that this footage is yours, if I am paid, if I am not paid, the footage is mine.
Well, no, but I think the default would be it's his. If they didn't end up doing paperwork and the guy's just been allowed access, that's his footage.
Oh yeah, 1000%. If there's not paperwork.
So if Diddy never signed paperwork, he was like, "No, I'm gonna get you when I get you."
Yeah, that's right.
Now Diddy never gave him $1. Now Diddy went to jail. He's holding all this footage. 50 goes, "I'd like that footage." All right, how much, bud?
Yeah.
But that legal threat probably won't stop anything. 50 has already explained how he got the footage. Diddy refused to pay his editor, just like Lil Rod, and 50 stepped in and covered the cost. Because of that, he now owns the exclusive rights to whatever footage gets released.
Calls, I'm getting it as your boss. Yo, man, how 50 get, blah, blah, blah. Yo, Puff, take this self doing that. Let me explain something to y'all. All right, whether it's NDAs, whether it's whatever. When these young boys come in, first of all, he only deal with young videographers because he want to rob them, and he know that they want the opportunity to follow Puff Daddy, P. Diddy. They want that opportunity. So they get him at a low price anyway. But when you stay out so many hours a day, Puff wants a videographer with him 24 hours a day on call. Whether we on a yacht, whether we on a ship, wherever we at. He wants to videotape that, right? So now, they come to agreement. They come to whatever the pay is going to be. But then it be so many hours on that invoice that he don't want to pay. He gets in touch with the office. He gets in touch with the chief of staff. Yo, what is this I'm paying? What is this I'm paying? You know what you paying. You was outside all of these hours. It's 160 something hours in a week. You was outside 140. That's the invoice he put in. So now, being if you got a contract and he don't stand to that contract, guess what happens? He could do whatever he want to do with that footage. So now that footage goes to the highest bidder. And 50 had to be the highest bidder to get there. This is business. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't in love with you. Everybody ain't dedicated. Everybody ain't loyal to the point of stupidity.
By letting his sons take the lead, Diddy can appear like a loving father or a misunderstood legend while quietly pulling focus away from the accusations against him. Unlike 50's docuseries, this one is expected to be packed with misinformation.
This morning, never-before-seen footage of Sean Diddy Combs in the days leading up to his arrest in New York last September.
You want to put stuff in my fanny pack, King?
The exclusive video obtained by Netflix shows Combs debating with his lawyers about strategy.
Listen to me. I'm going to get off the phone right now, and I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution. No matter what, no matter what nobody said. Let's just, here and there, y'all are not working together the right way. We're losing.
The footage is part of a new, highly anticipated docuseries by director Alex Stapleton and rapper and executive producer Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, titled Sean Combs, The Reckoning. Curtis, Alex, thank you so much for the time right now. I'm looking forward to talking about this, and this is something that a lot of people have been talking about for some time now. Alex, let me begin with you. The docuseries is entitled Sean Combs, The Reckoning. How is this one different from the others that have been out there?
Well, you know, I think that the biggest marker of what makes this film or this series different is how much time we took into putting into the making of the film, doing our due diligence to get the right voices, you know, to the table. You know, this is a series that spans over 30 years.
50 Cent has known for a while that Diddy's sons are involved in shady behavior. Months ago, he wrote to the judge asking that Diddy not be released, and in that letter, he specifically said his sons were just as bad as he was.
Moranian. Now, he posted this as a text message. I don't know if this was a text message to his lawyer, where maybe he was instructing his lawyer to write this letter to the judge. If you don't know, the judge is accepting letters in the case of the sentencing of Sean P. Diddy Combs, who's set to be sentenced tomorrow. And 50 Cent decided to write his letter to the judge as well. If you don't know, at this point, I think it's abundantly clear that 50 Cent is the baby father of the child that belongs to not only 50, but the woman that is identified as Jane Doe. That woman, I think we now know, is Daphne Joy. So Daphne Joy's baby daddy is 50 Cent. So maybe there's a reason and there's some relevance here for 50 to have somewhat of a letter being sent to the judge. Why? Well, one of the two victims, or the main two victims, which is victim one, we all know is Cassie, but victim two is known as Daphne Joy. Who's Daphne Joy's baby father? 50 Cent. So he writes a letter and he says, "Dear Judge Summeranian, I've had an ongoing dispute with Puffy for over 20 years. He's very dangerous. Multiple times I have feared for my life. I think you should consider the safety of the general public, Your Honor, before unleashing him upon them. There hasn't been enough time for him to reform or make any adjustments, despite his trying to teach a class in there." This is how you know he actually wrote this. This is bad grammar. Despite him trying to teach a class in there. As you're already aware, the government has spent maximum amount of money on deploying federal agencies, which appear to be an army, in two locations simultaneously. Later, his sons, who's dealing with his own R-word allegations, claimed that the feds had hit the wrong house. Anyway, Diddy's only going to return to hiring more male sex workers and keep most of the baby oil away from the general public, and Babies Needed, my Netflix doc on this scandalous subject, is coming.
Diddy's sons speaking out doesn't clear anything up. It actually makes everything more suspicious. When the people telling the story are also named in lawsuits and financially tied to the person they're defending, there's no trust left. If you think this documentary is about the truth, let me know. And if you believe 50 knows much more than he's revealing, make sure you're subscribed, because this story is nowhere near finished. For real celebrity news, hidden industry stories, and honest updates, make sure you subscribe to Haley Reporter. Like this video, drop your thoughts in the comments, and turn on notifications so you never miss what's coming next. This story is far from over.